Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're all doing well. Joined by Kacper from the Prem chat. Kacper, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, hello, I'm doing fine, thanks.
In today's video, we just want to talk about Norwich's new Polish signing. Obviously, you're from Poland. You've watched the Polish league regularly. What do you make of the new signing?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the pronunciation, because everyone is talking different. Yeah,
I was going to say for Norwich fans and people from Norfolk, it's kind of the worst thing pronunciation. So how do we get his name right?
so yeah, his surname is Placheta, Poix, like in French, Poix, like Poitiers.
Yeah.
Poix, he, like help, like
Yep.
he, ta, like in tantrum, for example. Placheta.
Placheta. Have I got it?
Yeah, that's great.
Should I have a go at the first name, or is that going to be too much?
First name is PRZEMYSLAW. I couldn't give you. I mean, one of the folks just asked me how do I pronounce his first name, and I was sitting in the train, and for 40 minutes I couldn't figure out how to translate it into English. So just go with the last name. I think it'll be fine. I mean,
Excellent.
just when you hear Martin Tyler or Kacper or whatever, whoever's commenting the championship, I don't really know. So go with what they are saying, and I think he'll be all right with that.
But yeah, Placheta. I got it right.
That's
I was going to say, I'm not sure we should go with commentators because one of our players is called Tom Tribal, but all the commentators for some reason go Tom Treble, and it's one which always gets us Norwich fans. But yeah, Norwich City have signed Polish wing Placheta. Talk to me a bit about his career, mate, and what you know about him.
So he has only played one season at the last club, but he's very young. He's like 22, I believe.
Yeah.
And he played last season 35 games. He was second in game time, just behind the main goalie. So he was a regular in the Polish top flight. What can I say? Rapid. I believe he was the fastest person in the season.
Okay.
Just ended. His team Śląsk Wrocław ended 6th in the championship. He joined them at the beginning of the season from the second tier of the Polish football. He made start from the get-go, and he played basically every game. I believe he missed 2 league games and 1 cup game. So, yeah, that was the crucial part of the Śląsk's 11. 8 goals, 5 assists, really impressive performances all across the board.
Yeah, so he's been playing in Poland, as you said. Has he kind of been one of the better players in the top flight of Poland?
In Poland, we have like the rule that every team has to play under 23 player for the whole match. And
that's quite a good rule.
Yeah, I mean, it was controversial because now there is like all of the lads from the 1997. They are either dumped because they are no longer needed as a youth player, or they are good enough that they will stay. So that's kind of controversial rule, but yeah, in the Śląsk's case, there was no issue. Placheta was regular. He was playing. I believe even if the rule wasn't in place, he would play the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was one of the better players who had benefited from this rule. I mean, there is a lot of good young players at the moment. If I had to make the top 10 ranking, he would be like top 4 or 5 for sure. He's a great player, left winger, but he played 1 match at the right and 1 match more deep in the midfield. But he will cope with everything you will throw at him.
So he's probably best on the left wing, would you say, from what you've seen of him so far?
Left mid, left wing, something like that.
Yeah. And what is his best attributes? You've already mentioned his pace. I mean, I know FIFA and things like that aren't much to go on, but just looking at how highly kind of people rate his pace and, from highlights you've seen on YouTube, he looks absolutely rapid. What would you say are his best attributes?
Yeah, for sure. Pace, bit of vision, but I can't stress this enough. He is probably the fastest player in the league at the moment.
Wow.
He was, I believe. I mean, I saw the stats from this season, and Instat, the company who provides Ekstraklasa with statistics, after every round of matches, they provide like who ran the most, who ran the fastest, and stuff like that. I believe 10 of the fastest sprints out of 10, 7 or 8 are his.
Wow.
Workhouse, absolute unit of man. In terms of speed, he was lacking strength in the first couple of matches of the season because, as in every league, like top echelon and the second division, there must be a bit of the gap.
Yeah.
First couple of matches, he was learning how to play in Ekstraklasa, but all around, quick player, great pass. He ain't afraid of the free kick, so.
And you say he's quite strong as well now on the ball. He's slowly starting to kind of bulk up and get stronger. Because that was if you look at someone like Adama Traore, who's one of the quickest players, quickest footballers. I think one of his kind of problems was particularly his strength, but now he's someone who's bulked up and looks like a really good player. Is Placheta's strength as well, something which is one of his better attributes?
Yeah, I'd say it's not like his pace when he was the wardrobe of the league or whatever, but I think in Norwich, where you are very professional club, I mean, we cannot compare even the Polish top flight and the championship. And if you treat him well and guide him as a youngster to get him at the best as he can, you'll have a very good time with him and probably sell him like 10 times more than he.
Really?
He has great potential, and my only concern is Polish left wingers not always are the best example in the Premier League. For example, there was a guy called Bartosz Kapustka. He came to Leicester after Euro 2016 where he had sublime tournament. And now he is in between Leicester's second team and the loan at SC Freiburg in the German top flight.
Yeah.
He came to Leicester and he disappeared. Really, he is a shadow of a man that was at Euro 2016. So I think move to Norwich is the best thing that this man could hope for.
I think so, because Norwich City in recent seasons under the like of Daniel Farke are a team who like to play the youngsters. We've had a lot of our own kind of players from the academy like Max Aarons, Todd Cantwell, who have had pretty good seasons in what has been a dire Premier League team. So I think Placheta is someone who I think will get good guidance at Norwich City and someone who could really flourish. Do you think he's kind of your next big star in Poland? Like, could he be like the next big star for Poland? Because he's been playing he's been going up, to the Poland under 21s and things like that.
Yeah, he played in under 21 Euros. He has altogether, I believe, 4 cups for the under 21. And nowadays, all across Poland, academies are growing. Every Ekstraklasa club has to have academy, and now there is a time where they're really pushing into it. Our league has a reputation of bringing old Slovaks, Czechs, people who hasn't been on the top form. I mean, look at this UEFA league standings. We are like 27th. So Polish league isn't that great, but nowadays there is a lot of young talent. Give you some names like Tymoteusz Puchacz, Filip Moder, Filip Marchwiński, and they are the people who will carry the Polish national. But I think Placheta, if guided well, and I believe he will be guided well at Norwich under Daniel Farke, he will be maybe not next to Robert Lewandowski, because he will be the player we won't have in another 50 years.
Yeah.
But he will be a regular for the Polish A team if everything goes as it should.
Yeah, 100%. So finally, as we spoke about, he's got blistering pace. He's someone who is a youngster who's got a lot of potential. What kind of do you think needs to improve? Is it like the next step for him is just his decision making on the ball, and then that's what turns him into like a fantastic player?
I mean, of course, he needs some experience playing in the top flight. I mean, he only had one season in the mediocre league. I mean, Extraclass is mediocre, but I think the biggest challenge at Norwich for him will probably be his stamina, because every Polish player who goes abroad has a problem with stamina.
Okay.
So if he doesn't play for like first half of the season, don't freak out. He's probably gaining some stamina and some sort of that. Tactically, he will grasp the Norwich way of football, I believe. He is young and what was I supposed to say? He's young and he isn't the guy who is just like no head runner, so just like straight on to the end line and cross and hope.
Yeah.
I think the stamina, as I said, will be his biggest issue, and also Championship is a very, very, I would say, how can I phrase correctly, like the league when no one like doesn't play his best, like everyone running around.
It's quite a mentally kind of, there's so many games, so it's quite like mentally challenging, I think.
As well, but his mental is alright. But yeah, as I said, every Polish player struggles with stamina.
But overall, you would say he's like a really exciting star, like one of could potentially be, if with the guidance, he's kind of next big star.
Yeah, he is promising, very promising.
Excellent. Thank you for coming on, Kacper. Where can people find you, mate?
Yeah, so I'm the part of the 1/8 of a prem chat. It's the channel which we started with your fellow friend Duka and some other lads from our uni. At the moment, we are in a bit of a standstill because I'm back in Poland. Lads are all over the UK. We tried some Zoom recordings and stuff. It hasn't really took off. We think about rebranding ourselves to like stray further away from football and don't enclose us on that football geek market. But at the moment, Prem Chat on YouTube, and yeah, that's it.
Whereas I'll leave a link to that in the description, so guys, please feel free to head over to the Prem Chat, where there'll be lots of exciting things coming in the future. Kacper, thank you very much for coming on and talking about Placheta.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.